The sea levels are rising by about 3 centimeters a decade. The carbon dioxide emissions are growing by 3% a year. And in 2012, the total coverage of the Arctic ice was about half from what we were seeing a couple decades ago. When you hear these facts, it's hard to ignore the effects of climate change, but there are a few proposals out there to stop global warming.
Rather than reduce the carbon dioxide emissions, some people are saying, well, we can just solve our problems by geoengineering the climate. In other words, trying to manipulate it so that we counteract the warming.
What are some examples of geoengineering that are out there?
Fertilizing the ocean with iron, and that's because the phytoplankton that do the photosynthesis in the ocean, in some parts of the ocean, such as the North Pacific and the Southern Ocean, they don't have enough iron. The hypothesis is if you put more iron in the ocean, then they'll take up more carbon dioxide. To make a difference, it would have to be done on very large scale, maybe 15% of the global ocean, and it would have to be done continuously for decades.
There's also a couple things they're talking about doing in our atmosphere and in the sky.
The idea of putting particles into the stratosphere to block the incoming radiation. The other technique that has to do with the oceans is there's these proposals to have these kind of weird little ships using the wind, spray fine particles into the atmosphere and increase the low-level clouds above the ocean and block the incoming radiation. The other one is also putting reflectors, little reflectors into the stratosphere. And the problem with that is if we put in too many, there's no known way to retrieve them. So while some people think that some of these geoengineering schemes will work, the possibility is they would work too well and they would cool the planet too much.
But what are some things that we can do on a one-on-one level to lower our carbon footprint?
Well, you can decide how to vote. You can drive less, bike more. You can buy cars that are smaller and much higher mileage per amount of fuel you burn. All these things. You can change the light bulbs in your house. There are these little things we can all choose to do that collectively would make a difference.